started. We're going to be speaking on how to get your kids to open up to you. Yes, I know it's a topic that many of us should be interested in. I've gotten a couple of moms reach out. Oh, my mom, my child, if I'm asking questions, my child will just say, yes, I'm okay, or fine. My child is not talking. My child, is not communicating right. Or is it me? Or is it my child? Or the child is just a quiet child, those type of questions. That's what I usually would receive. So today we'll be speaking on how to get your kids to open up to you. Please feel free to share this live with your followers, with your contacts, and with your loved ones. Let me know. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Buddy Persona, for giving me that thumbs up so I can get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If this is your first time of joining our live session, right? My name is Temi Olajide. I'm the founder of Mommy Clinic, where we give moms the psychological permission that you can be hands-on mommy and be a superstar professional. You can achieve your dreams as a mom, as well, and still raise, phenomenal children. Because the narrative we're usually told is that when you are hands-on mommy, it's either you are hands-on with your mommy life or you are hands-on with your own life, with your career and all that. But what we do at Mommy Clinic is we give you support through our, our classes, our sessions, our courses, our programs, and obviously so many free resources on our page to keep you going and excel in your mommy duty. Please feel free to invite people to this live. I wouldn't take any of your time. So today, how do we get our kids to open up to us? Because that's the question, like I said, that I've been, receiving. And as a child psychologist, I'm also a certified child psychologist, a certified, child sleep and potty training consultant as well, and also a parent coach. So I'm readily here and available to support you. And if you have questions, please do leave your questions in the comments and I would get to it. So I know, our children, our children have different personalities. But what I would always tell moms is that no matter how quiet your child is, no matter how reserved your child is, your child should freely open up to you, you should be available to be able for your child to come to you with their fears, their pains, their troubles, their challenges, their wins, and be able to say, oh, mommy, daddy, this is happening to me. Or if you are asking question, they're able to genuinely answer you and not, and they're not like fearful to be able to discuss anything with you. So what I'm just saying is that if you have children and your children are not talking to you, they're absolutely talking to somebody else, or it's in their mind and they're thinking, oh, I would really love to share this with my parents. I would want my parents to know how I feel, especially with moms that we are the ones that maybe usually around these children. Your children should not be, because you constantly are nagging, shouting and all that. They would rather just keep quiet that, oh, we don't want mommy to be upset. We don't want daddy to be upset. We don't want mommy shouting and nagging and all that. But, I'm going to be sharing tips on how we can get, your children to freely, open up to you, no matter what. What are you supposed to be doing as a parent? Please feel free to share this live with your followers and your loved ones as well. So the number one tip is listening, listen actively. As a parent, especially moms, we're so busy. You think, oh, you are juggling this. You have to take care of mommy, dad, take care of yourself, children, husband, everything, grandma, there's just a lot going on in our lives. But in as much as anything is going on, I always say pay attention when your children are actually trying to communicate with you. Even if you are so tired, because there's some times that you are tired and you do not want to listen. You just want to rest and just switch off. But when your children are, talking and trying to communicate with you, if you are really tired, you can say, rather than ignore that child, rather say, oh, sorry, darling, mommy is really tired. I just got back, or I'm trying to do this. Can you give me some minutes, right? Then I'll come back to you. But ensure that when you are listening to your children, actively listen and ask open-ended questions. So don't just ask questions that the child will say yes and no. Remember that we're trying to encourage them to open up, because many times the children too, they're also facing their own challenges. They forget things. And, if you don't ask like follow-up questions, they might not be able to like express themselves or pass the message that they're trying to pass across to you as well. So when they are telling you something, don't just say, okay, now wow, or something like that. Say, okay, really? Okay, what did you now do? What happened? What did the person say? Wow. So what was your, ask follow-up question. Even, and these are, even with younger children, older children, whichever, age your child is, you can actually communicate this with open-ended, with open questions, not closed-ended questions. So ensure that you keep, the conversation going with your child. Then number 2 is create a safe place. So what do I mean by safe place? Many times because we shout too much, and to be honest, you to tell me if somebody is shouting. Let's even give an example. If you have like a partner or husband or friend that is constantly shouting at you, are you going to be free to express yourself with that kind of person, in as much as you love that person, in as much as you care about that person, but you would not be able to, genuinely want to open up to that person to say, this is how I feel, this is what you just be thinking, okay, let me just keep to myself, I don't want trouble. That kind of a thing. And that's how the children are as well. So ensure that you create a safe place for your children, that you're not judgmental. Everything here, that's how you did last week, that's how you always do, that's how you are. That is, ensure that you are not a judgmental parent. Yes, we're there to correct and guide our children, but you correct in love. You use constructive like feedback to say, oh, maybe you shouldn't have done it this way, or maybe you listen to mom. Ensure that you are not like, hey, God catch you, hey, I told you so. We know I told you so, that I told you so, what's up, that kind of a thing. So ensure that you're not a judgmental parent. Thank you everyone for joining in. So ensure that you are not a judgmental parent, because for judgmental parents, your children are not going to open up to you. So for those people joining, we're speaking on how to get your kids to freely, open up to you, because we need this in this digital age. A lot is happening in the world that we're in. And if your child, and I repeat it, if your child is not talking to you, if they're not opening up to you, they're opening up to someone, maybe their friends, their teachers, wherever it is, but period, they're talking to someone. So ensure that you are the one that your child is talking with, opening up to, so that they're not deceiving or misleading your children. Or maybe they're talking to Google. Yes, that just came to my mind. I just remember that, some children, it's the internet they go to when they have questions, anything is bothering them, it's Google. Tell me, or, so ensure that you are your children's first Google, right? So that they're able to come to you and you're able to adequately direct them, because a number of children are now being misled, whether by internet, the social media, by friends. For the younger children, at school, they just see somebody doing something else and they're scared to actually, open up to you, as a parent. So ensure that you are creating that safe place that your children can be vulnerable with you, and they can, because it's not rocket science, because if you do not create that safe place, if you're not that person, your children are not going to say anything. So we're trying to put, measures in place, that how can we, put these things in place so that, you have that relationship and that communication avenue for your children to easily come to you, to talk to you, to ask you questions without thinking, oh, I'm going to be judged, or, they're going to tell me off. That's what we usually will do. So ensure that you try as much as possible not to be that type of parent. And the next tip, that's the third tip, is be present, right? Be a present parent. Many times we want the children to listen to us. We want the children to do what we want. But the question is, are you available for the children as well? Do you do, are you available? Do you also participate in things that are of interest to them? So maybe your child likes to play football, for example. Your child likes to play an instrument and they're having some sort of, event in the school. As much as I know that we can be pretty much busy, but do you make effort to be present? Because when you are present in your child's life, then your child knows that, okay, because it's not about buying gifts. They're going to outgrow all the gifts that you buy for your children, right? But they're not going to outgrow. They would keep that memory that they have, the memories that you guys have created together for life. So the thing is that, okay, am I present in my child's life? So those things that my children are taking seriously. Thank you everyone for joining. So those things that my children take seriously, do I also take it seriously? The events that they're participating in, am I also involved? Am I showing up? So ensure that you show up. The more you show up for your children, the more they trust you. Because when you want somebody to open up to you, we're speaking on how to get your kids to open up to you for those that are joining, right? So if you want your children to open up to you, for anyone to open up to you, the person has to trust you. So, and you have to build that trust. It doesn't come like that. So for parents that are quite really close and, just having fun with your children is not opening up. It's like when I need, guidance, when I'm afraid, when I'm facing challenges, in school, when, someone is bullying me, when one teacher is, picking on me, can I speak with my parents? Can I tell my parents about this and not be judged or say, it is you? Why would your teacher not be picking on you because you are naughty? Those type of things. That child is not going to talk to you again. So you want to, find a way, the best way that you're not coming off as judgmental, but you're still addressing the issue at hand. So let's be present. Then the next one is, ask questions and be specific with your questions. With children, they've had a long day as well. Many times they might have forgotten what has happened in the course of the day. So what you want to say, rather than say, "I was school," the child will say, "Fine." And that's all. And you're thinking, I've had a couple of moms come to me that tell me my children are not talking to me. I asked them how their day was. They say it's fine. What is fine? I said, but you have to ask, you have to be specific about your questions. Oh, okay. Did anything make you sad today? Did anybody upset you? Did your teacher treat you nicely? Or did your teacher say anything to make you upset? Or, how are your friends? What did you do at break time? You have to dig in and ask questions. And that's when the children actually feel, like they are also part of you and, that you are involved. You want to know everything about them and you are asking the right questions. So be specific about your questions. The more you are specific about your questions, the more you get, information out of your children. So another question is, did anybody say anything that maybe wowed you today? Or did anybody say anything surprising? Like you're like, okay, where did you get that from? Or what's that, And you can come to if you have younger children, come down to their level to say, oh, did anybody touch your body? Did anybody touch your bum? Just ask any question, to be honest, when you know that, this is the type of challenges these children of the digital children, do face. Did anybody pull your hair? Ask specific questions and your children are able to start to think that, okay, these are the type of conversation, these are the type of things that I need to start to, talk and ask, with my children. And the next one is share your experiences. This is my best point. Like storytelling, you need storytelling as a parent because with children, they connect more with stories, right? When you tell them stories, they will not forget the story. So if you, even for learning moments and all that, it's better you use a story, right? And from your experience so that they know you're also human. Because many times we always want to form like we are the best. Nothing happened to us. We're good, we're good when we're children. We obeyed, we did that. So ensure that with your children, you use your experiences to, share your experiences with them. If there was a challenge when you were also growing up, let them know that you also faced that challenge. And if you were able to overcome that challenge as well. Let them know how you were able to overcome that challenge. And the more you tell and share your experiences, the more they're able to share their experiences with you as well, because, you know, they're like, okay, we got this, you know, mommy shared this with us. And, you know, they also know that, okay, we can actually tell mommy, you know, and daddy as well, can actually share, you know, whatever it is about us as well with our parents. And that's how you basically, you know, get your children to open up to you, open up to them, even sometimes be vulnerable with some of the challenges that you are facing, to say, oh, mommy too is facing this challenge. You know, this, I could remember when my kid, I think when my daughter was, I think about 4, now she's almost 14, and she was about 4, maybe she was biting her nails, and I shared with her that, you know what, I too, when I was young, I was also biting my nails and all that, and, you know, we have to keep each other accountable. So I was not coming like this judgmental mom and saying, stop biting your nails, stop, when I knew that I bit my nails when I was small and when I was younger. So I came from that angle to now say, you know what, I know it can be a bit challenging, you might want to do this, but let's keep each other accountable, and obviously we're better off for it. Yes, me, I'm not biting my nails again, but I think she still does from time to time, but she's getting she's really, really improved. And that's how we're able to, you know, communicate better and get the best out of each other as well. Then finally, you know, respect your children's privacy. And what am I saying? Your children will tell you something in trust and you're going to use it against them. So what am I saying? Maybe your child tells you, oh, mommy, this thing happened to me, and your friend comes to your house or something, and you say, imagine what happened to him, or imagine this child said this happened, you know, that is so disgusting, to be honest. And that is not nice, because if your children trust you with information or with stuff, you're supposed to keep it, especially if you know it's something you want to share with someone. Ask your child, do you want me to tell somebody about it? Do you want me to share it with my friend? Do you want me to share with your teacher? You are facing this. Do you want me to discuss this with your teacher? Ask first. And if they say, okay, you can go ahead, then that is how you build the trust of your of your children, so that they can be able to trust you with more stuff that they would want to share with you. So please respect their privacy. Ask them genuinely if you want, if you feel that you want to share. Even at times, even let's say for daddies and mommy, in as much as possible that you know that you're going to share with dad or with mom, you still want to say, oh, do you want your dad to know? Do you not want your mom to know? Yes, you can say, oh, okay. If the child says, no, I don't want the person to know. Yes, you know that you probably need to tell your partner, obviously, about it, but still build that trust and, you know, have that conversation with daddy and or mommy to say, you know what, this child says I should not tell you, but, you know, let us find how we're going to solve this problem, blah, blah, blah. And everybody, you know, would you know, walk around it in that way, so that you ensure that when the child is at the crossroad at any point in time, they know that they can trust you with their life, they can trust you with their words, they can trust you with their circumstances, they can trust you with whatever challenges that they are facing. And it's with your younger children. This does not apply to maybe older. All the tips are basically applicable to any child. But before you can get the best from your children, trust me, you have to build that trust. So if you have that, if you have questions, please leave it. So I'll just recap. So today we're speaking on how to get your kids to open up to you. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for catching the replay. Let's know in the comments if you got value as well. For everyone that has joined now, if you got value, just put value, and let me see that. We'll almost be rounding up, but if you have questions, I'm happy to take your questions. So I will just round up with the tips, 6 tips on how to get your children to open up to you freely, right? So number 1, listen actively. Number 2, create a safe place, you know, for your children. Number 3, be a present parent. No, thank you so much. Number 4, ask specific questions. And number 5, share your experiences, especially by telling stories, because it will stick in their head, right? Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you all got value. And finally, respect your children's privacy. Always ask them if it's something you want, they want you to tell other people, or do not even use it against them with other people. Don't say, this was what happened, and your child is looking at you like, hello, I told you this in trust. So let that be very, very clear. So thank you everyone for joining. I absolutely had so much fun having to give you, to speak about this today, because it's something that I know a lot of moms do struggle with. So here you have it. So practice. So I'm not just teaching for you to just know, put it into practice,